If you're watching this video, I assume you've seen my TikToks on why Lady D is a lesbian. Most of them are simply jokes because of her animations, but recently, I spent a few hours going through Castle Dimitrescu to find solid evidence. Anyways, welcome to my TED Talk. Let's get right into my first piece of evidence, the flowers seen all around her castle. In case you weren't aware, these flowers I'm showing are violets. They are seen all throughout the castle and in the courtyard, and some are placed by paintings of a woman. Violets are considered to be sapphic flowers, as set in place by Sappho herself. At the very least, this tells us Lady D is sapphic in some way, as she has no real reason to keep these around the castle except to show her love for women. Also, these arrangements are seen spread around the castle too. Let's look at their meanings. It's possible these flowers remind Lady D of a past lover of hers, and that's why so many of them are near paintings of women. To me, here is what these flowers represent. Lady D had probably fallen in love with a woman, and the innocence represented in the white flowers could mean this woman was a maiden. The violets, roses, and pink flowers probably represent Lady D's love and passion for this woman. You may be asking, who could this woman be? Welcome to Gay Theory. This actually brings me to my next point, the paintings around the castle. One of the first things I noticed was this white flower by a painting of someone seen many times throughout the castle. Here is the woman I kind of think was the one I was talking about with the flowers. Notice anything strange about this painting? This woman is holding a sword in her hand, barely seen in the corner. Where else have we seen a woman holding a sword so far that relates to Castle Dimitrescu? This may be a bit of a stretch, but it's possible this maiden statue represents that same woman. She's seen facing toward the castle and even appears on the locked gate. We know the goat represents protection, so it makes me wonder, assuming my theory is correct, if Lady D fell in love with this maiden, who then possibly betrayed her with the dagger to protect the village. I'm totally talking out of my ass right now, but it is an interesting topic. Regardless, it's obvious this woman in the painting means a great deal to Lady D. When I say she's seen frequently around the castle, she's literally almost in every room or hallway. Also, I found this interesting. Take a look. Notice anything I've mentioned before? This is one of two paintings both in the opera hall, I believe, that have violets to either side of it. Do you know what else is in the opera hall? That's right, the famed sapphic song. Now, the song itself isn't sapphic. However, it is about a woman. Here are the lyrics, translated in English. So, Misty, you wanna explain why you have a song about fighting temptation with someone you know you shouldn't be with? There's also another woman seen in a few important places throughout the castle, usually above fireplaces. Truthfully, I have no idea who this woman is. It almost looks like she might have a tattoo on her forehead, similar to Lady D's daughters. It's possible this could be the woman seen in other paintings, perhaps an older version of her. But it could also be pre-Cadu Alcina. I need answers, Capcom. Let's take a second to go over what we've discussed already. Regardless of who that woman is in the paintings, she clearly has some sapphic significance to Lady D. Between her frequent appearances around the castle and hallways and the violets by a few of them, yeah, Lady D was probably gay for this woman at some point. Still not convinced she doesn't like men? Let's look at more evidence. These statues are seen all over the castle and hold significance. Aside from that, they're all women here and mostly naked. I kind of thought this was a man, but that's definitely a woman holding the one below her. Here are even more naked women statues. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Still not convinced? There's more. This one is actually in her room in the beginning, and because it has clothing built into the statue, I'm led to believe she just likes it there. There is literally no heterosexual explanation for this. Lady D is a lesbian, confirmed. There's also the matter of the puzzle in the ablution room. The two women here face each other, blind to male advances. They are focused on one another. I believe it's been confirmed that this is Lady D, or it's supposed to represent her. You can see a little bit of resemblance. Why are you staring so intently at this woman, Misty? Are you, by chance, a homosexual? I'm assuming you're probably convinced by now if you weren't before. But for shits and giggles, I'm going to keep going. Let's talk about her winemaking. We know she prefers women's blood, and maiden's blood on top of that. Lesbianism at its finest, clearly. Aside from that, her staff is just women, probably to help with the winemaking. Capcom has made comments that the staff of women were turned into Samka and Maroica, and the men were drained of their blood. In-game, however, we see she drains the women too, while the men become the scarecrows out in her vineyard. An example I hadn't actually seen before: when Cassandra forces you into the cellar, you crawl into a room as Lady D leaves it, and there is a hand sticking out of one of the wine barrels. I don't know. It's possible she does drain both men and women while some become monsters and the men become scarecrows. Let's look at some honorable mentions before I move on to voice lines, both for Lady D and her daughters and their man-hating ways. I'm definitely not only mentioning these because I forgot about them earlier. This painting is seen just outside Lady D's room in the beginning. It's labeled Maidens of the Harvest, and it seems to depict naked women dancing around the corpses of men. Your Honor, the whole family is gay. Also, I'm not sure who this woman is either, but she's seen rather frequently around the castle too. Remember that woman, possibly maiden, I mentioned earlier? Here she is in the attic area above the library. Why is she hidden? In the ablution room, there are two sinks on opposite walls, both with similar objects but different placings. I wonder if one belonged to Lady D and the other to someone else. And lastly, I just thought this was cute. The daughters were having tea time together. Okay, now moving on to voice lines, assuming you somehow still don't believe me. Just to spite you if that's the case, I'm adding in her daughters, too. First up, Lady D's man-hating dialogue.
What a terrible man-thing! I feel sick! Stupid man-thing! You won't live long, even if you run! Ugh, just another simple little man-thing. Know your place. You disgusting outsider! Are you finished? Bloodline of House Dimitrescu is done in by the likes of you? You ungrateful, selfish wretch! You come into my house! You lay your filthy man-hands on my daughters! Shall I drink your blood fresh, or slice your neck and let it spill out first? Oh, move! Oh, nuisance! Oh, filthy rat! A simpleton like you shouldn't give me trouble. Die, you vermin! Exactly how much do you plan on annoying me?
Anyways, I know most of these aren't used in-game, but even the ones that are. Lady D hates men with a passion, as she should, but she would make an exception for M. She would not. She wouldn't even make an exception for the sapphics that love her. She hates men and she prefers women's blood. Ain't none of us surviving, but least of all the men who think they can top her. Newsflash, her claws would be slicing through you within seconds. Anyways, let's look at the daughters' man-hating dialogues. Just to spite some of y'all who can't accept they're probably just as gay as their mom. Let's look at Bella's first.
Which tools do you prefer?
Such a terrible man-thing!
You still don't get it, foolish man-thing. Where are you going? What a pitiful face. Annoying, aren't you? You'll get lost. I hate stupid men. Skittering and scampering. I don't like a rat. Fine, fire away. Oh, you poor thing. But I must have more. Use your mind a little. All that running. And for what, little man?
Anyways, throughout most of her voice lines, Bella is just mocking Ethan. I sat through about 8 minutes of her voice lines and went through the cellar to prove this point, but she only has one flirty line, and even that can be explained away where she's still a homo. She says to Ethan, what a handsome face. Finding someone attractive, yes. Being attracted to them are very different, and you can see that someone is handsome or beautiful without wanting to bang them. So, if your only evidence for Bella being straight is that one line, I urge you to rewatch her section of this video. She hates men just like her mom, though she mentions wanting to drink Ethan's blood because she's tired of women's the servant's blood. If anything, based on voice lines alone, she is the gayest daughter. Point proven, case closed. Moving on. Let's take a look at Cassandra's man-hating voice lines.
Let me string you up, slice your jugular, and just watch. Now then, don't you have to run? Pitiful. I haven't cut open a man in a while. I'll mount your head on my wall. Your blood will be the centerpiece for our party. Dead already? What a boring man thing. Stupid man thing! You'll die anyway! You died in a blink. What a pointless struggle! You will look wonderful mounted in our hall. Stupid man. Oh, so scary. Taken alive, dead, which would you prefer? When I see your face, I just want to... You're going to die here. Disgusting man thing. Good. The more scared you are, the thicker the blood. So, you like being sliced to bits? I'll slice your limbs and feed them to the pigs!
So anyways, if you genuinely think Cassandra likes Ethan and or likes men in general, you must have played the game deaf and blind. She is a sadist and she enjoys hearing him panic when she says what she's going to do to him. When she chases him throughout the castle, she either details what she'll do to him or mock him. She is a hunter, though she's also playful. Still, it's clear in her voice lines that she's just playing with him, akin to a predator playing with its food before it goes in for the kill. But she flirts with him, sure. Let's take a look at these flirty lines and dissect each one.
Maybe I'll keep a souvenir.
Yes, her voice is low and flirty, but she's literally talking about taking a piece of him as a souvenir from her hunting him, like a lot of hunters do.
Yes, yes!
Again, she's a sadist, and she says this when you try to attack her. She wants Ethan to try and hurt her because she likes pain and so that she'll have a better excuse to hurt him.
Like that? Harder?
Again, she's a sadist. She likes inflicting pain, and her asking, harder, is not in a sexual way. She's literally just mocking him.
You look delicious.
She's literally a cannibal.
Trying to work up my appetite, are you?
She literally eats people. This is not meant in a sexual way.
Play with me some more.
Cassandra is just talking about the hunt she has going on with him. She doesn't mean sleep with me. She means, come struggle a bit more while I laugh in your face.
Give me more of that beautiful voice.
Yeah, hey again. Did I mention she was a sadist? She's talking about wanting to keep hearing him yell or scream or make pained noises. Like before, it's not sexual nor flirty. Y'all, the straight men this was aimed at would know most of this if you actually paid attention to their characters and their personalities. Anyways, point number 2 made, Cassandra is also hella gay. Case closed. Moving on. Let's just talk about Daniela for a second. She is probably just queer in some way, but I do not think she was actually attracted to Ethan. And I can explain why before I make you listen to them. It's a known fact that the youngest Dimitrescu struggles with the concept of reality and that she is delusional. She might think Ethan is in love with her, and that's why she's kind of going easy on him. She's blinded by the fact that she's getting attention from someone outside of her family. Overall though, I think she's only flirting with him because she's playing with her food, similar to her sisters, and because she's immature and thinks it's funny to do so. Let's take a look at some of her voice lines.
If you play with me, I'll let you live in the meantime. Stop that! I just want to eat you! That's all! I'll cut your belly and turn you into my flower bed! I'll enjoy every last drop. I want all your blood. Poor man thing. No place to run? Oh, keep shooting. Poor little man thing. Then let's devour his man flesh quickly, Mother. I get thirsty. Understand? Don't be such a bore! Sorry, I'm bored. You like more pain? Oh, I want to eat the cute ones right up.
Daniela is obviously just as cruel as her sisters can be, and they each have unique ways of tormenting Ethan. Her way is by flirting with him and acting innocent, but you can almost always tell there's a hidden motive behind her words, aka wanting to eat him. I don't think she would rule out men completely. Similar to Bella, she's curious about new things. However, assuming she actually wants to sleep with Ethan ignores a good chunk of her dialogue. She does mock him, and as we've heard, she sometimes speaks to him like she thinks he's an idiot. She doesn't seem to think very highly of men. Anyways, my point is that Daniela isn't actually attracted to Ethan. She's just playing with him and she finds it funny to get a reaction out of him. She's probably attracted to both men and women, and while she's definitely the flirtiest, all she wants is to eat Ethan and drink his blood. Last point made, case closed. The entire Dimitrescu family is fruity in some way. So, let's talk about what was discussed in the video. Lady D is definitely a lesbian. Between the portraits, the violets, the song in the opera hall, the naked lady statues all around the castle, her hatred for men. Same, queen, you're living the life. Her daughters are definitely fruity, and thinking they're all straight is blatantly ignoring a lot of their dialogue. They all dislike men, though it seems Bella and Cassandra hate them more than Daniela. A lot of people seem to forget they're a family of sadists, so tormenting Ethan by pretending to be friendly or flirting with him seems like something they would do. I could definitely keep going, but this is getting too long already, and my phone is lagging immensely. Maybe I'll make another video just on the daughters or something. Later, or in this case, too long, didn't watch. Lady D is a lesbian. The evidence is right there in her castle, and you cannot ignore it just because you think she's hot. Speaking to the ignorant men here, you're obviously allowed to have your own opinions on fictional characters, but I'm tired of seeing y'all try to say her and her daughters aren't gay when the evidence is there. Speaking of, stop trying to fight with me in my comment sections about their sexualities and acting like you're mightier than me when you started the argument. It's annoying and immature. You have no reason to come onto a queer person's post and argue that it's actually canon the Dimitrescus are straight after said creator makes a joke about them being gay. I'll start linking this video in every reply if you don't knock it off, at least until you get it through your head. Anyways, thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Lady D is a lesbian. Her daughters are fruity. Happy Pride Month.